Hey Collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So, do you feel like you're playing a part in your own life? Terrified that if people saw the real, unedited you, the one with the messy thoughts, weird quirks, and deep insecurities, they'd run for the hills? You're not alone. So many of us are carrying that same invisible weight. But why? Why are we walking around feeling like imposters? Exhausted from the constant performance? Maybe it's because we're trapped in fear by the one thing that could truly set us free: ourselves. There's a special kind of exhaustion that comes from not being yourself. It's not that satisfying, tired feeling after a long day of doing something meaningful. It's a soul-deep weariness. It's the fatigue of constantly checking your own words, second-guessing your reactions, smiling when you want to cry, and saying yes when your entire body is screaming no. It's the exhaustion of running 1,000 different social calculations every second. If I say this, what will they think of me? Is this too much or not enough? If I do that, will I still belong? This whole act is what psychologists call masking. It's hiding what you really think, feel, and how you'd normally act just to fit in with social norms, or to get or keep a relationship. It's a performance we put on, without even realizing it, to dodge judgment, avoid a fight, or simply belong. Maybe your mask is one of non-stop positivity or niceness, where you're the cheerleader for everyone else while your own life is falling apart. Maybe it's a mask of being super competent, like you have it all together, when you really don't. Where you would never admit you're struggling because you're scared of looking weak. Or maybe you're a chameleon, blending into any group, adopting their opinions, but losing your own voice along the way. The tragedy here is that while the mask feels like a shield, it's actually a cage. It promises safety, but all it delivers is isolation. Here's the truth. When people like the masked version of you, it doesn't feel real. It never will. Because you know they aren't seeing the real you. All this does is create a painful disconnect, not just from other people, but from yourself. Over time, that line between the mask and the self gets blurry. You might even forget who you were before you started performing. Constantly pushing down your authentic self takes a huge amount of energy, which leads straight to burnout, anxiety, and that nagging feeling that you're a fraud in your own life. So, why do we do it? If it's so draining, why are some people scared to take off the mask? Well, the answer isn't that you're weak. The answer is that you're human. And you learn to do this to survive. This fear of being real isn't just some random anxiety. It's a deep-rooted survival program that got installed in your brain when you were a child. Think back to when you were a kid. I know, but it's the origin of all healing. So, think back to when you were a kid. Your survival, physically, emotionally, depended completely on the adults around you. Your brain, in its brilliant mission to keep you safe, got really good at one thing: learning the rules to stay connected. You learned fast what got you a smile, praise, or even a hug, and what got you a frown, anger, or even worse, ignored. Maybe you were a loud, energetic kid who was told to be quiet or to settle down a lot. So many times you learned to squash your natural joy. Maybe you showed a vulnerable emotion like sadness and were told to toughen up, which taught you your feelings were a problem. Or maybe you shared a really unique idea and got laughed at, so you learned it was safer to keep your imagination to yourself. These moments, big and small, were filed away in your brain, not as opinions, but as survival facts. The equation became brutally simple. Being myself can lead to pain, but fitting in leads to safety. This isn't just a psychological theory, it's baked into your biology. For our ancestors, being kicked out of the tribe was a literal death sentence. your brain is still running that ancient software. It sees social rejection as a life or death situation. So, when you're in a meeting and you hold back a different opinion, or you're on a date and you downplay your quirky hobbies, or lie about your job or your lifestyle habits, the panic you feel is your primal brain screaming, "Warning, you're risking expulsion from the tribe." I won't go too off topic here, but this is the programming organized religion, cults, and certain social groups will use against you, even narcissists, to control you, to keep you from feeling like you could ever leave the herd or raise your consciousness above theirs. Your ego, which evolved to protect you, doesn't care about your long-term happiness. Its only job is to keep you safe right now. It would rather you be accepted and miserable than be yourself and risk rejection. And this, my friends, is the core conflict. Your conscious mind wants a real connection, but your subconscious survival program is holding you hostage. For a while, the strategy works. The mask protects you. You avoid drama, fights, get approval, and feel like you belong, even if it's fragile. But this protection comes at a huge cost. Living behind a mask is extremely stressful. It keeps your nervous system on constant high alert, and that state of endless self-monitoring will burn you the fuck out. Pushing your true feelings down doesn't make them vanish. It just forces them to bubble up inside as anxiety, depression, or even physical issues like headaches, body pain, and fatigue. On top of that, the performance actively blocks the one thing you truly want: genuine connection. You can't build real intimacy, security, stability, trust, vulnerability, truth, or even real love if you're not showing your real self. Period. Full stop. You can be surrounded by people and still feel profoundly lonely because deep down you know they're connected to a character you're playing, not the real you. This can breed resentment. Resentment for people you're trying so hard to please. And even worse, resentment for yourself, for not being brave enough to just be you. Society makes it even more confusing with its mixed messages. We're hit with be yourself, be authentic. And in the next breath, we're shown incredibly narrow definitions of what's acceptable, successful, or even beautiful. We're told to be vulnerable, but not too vulnerable. Share your feelings, but don't be an oversharer. Money won't buy you happiness, but to be part of the group, you gotta live in this neighborhood, drive this car, wear this designer. This emotional whiplash is exhausting. It creates a trap where you feel ashamed for hiding, but you're also terrified of what will happen if you stop. The result is a life lived in the gray zone, a life that feels safe but small, and ultimately unfulfilling. You survived, but you're not really living. So, if this fear is so deeply wired, what can we actually do? How do we start to undo a lifetime of conditioning and live from a place of truth? It's not about suddenly spilling your guts to the entire world. It's a quiet, deliberate journey that begins with a few small, intentional steps. This isn't about getting a personality transplant. It's about slowly and kindly removing the layers of armor you've built around yourself. Step 1. Observe your fear. Before you can change a pattern, you have to understand it. Instead of beating yourself up for wearing a mask, or for not seeing the control or manipulation you were under, get curious about it. Go inward and start noticing without judgment when the mask goes on. Is it at work, around certain family members, when you're trying to be romantic? Keep a note on your phone. When you feel that urge to hide or conform, just pause and ask, what am I afraid will happen if I say what I really think? What specific judgment am I trying to avoid? Am I scared of looking stupid, needy, or weird? Just by naming the fear, you take away some of its power. You go from being a prisoner of fear to being an observer of it. Step 2. Define your authentic North Star. It's tough to be authentic if you aren't clear on what authentic means to you. And this is where a lot of people get this word misconstrued. Authenticity isn't about being unfiltered, blunt, or straightforward. It's about being aligned with your core values. For example, you might be scared of being judged for speaking up, but if honesty or courage is on your list of values, you're not aligned, and you need to choose to honor that. Tell yourself, I feel scared, but I value real connection more than I fear a moment of discomfort. This reframes everything. It's no longer about being reckless. It's about being brave enough to live by your own principles. Defining your values is so important. I can't stress it enough. I created a free PDF list of value words and a guide to help you get started. I'll leave it down below in the description box. It's a simple guide with prompts to help you uncover what you truly value. It's a small step that can bring you a massive amount of clarity. Step 3, create your authenticity sandbox. Okay, you don't learn to swim by jumping in the ocean during a hurricane. You start in the kiddie pool. The same goes for authenticity. Find your sandbox, a safe place where you can practice being real in small, low-stake ways. This could be with a trusted friend, your partner, or a therapist, counselor, or mind-body practitioner. You could say, hey, I've realized I'm often afraid to disagree with people, and I want to practice being more honest with you. Then, try it out. Share your real opinion on a movie instead of just agreeing with someone else. Admit you don't know something instead of faking it. Set a tiny boundary by saying no to a small request. Every time you take one of these small risks and see that you survive, that the world doesn't end and the right people don't leave you, you are actively teaching your brain that it's safe to be you. Now, if you do this and someone makes fun of you, mocks you, tries to change your opinion to theirs, makes you feel small or different in any way, whether it's a beloved family member, a spouse, long-term partner, best friend from childhood, I don't care, then I'm sorry, but this person doesn't deserve to be in your life, and they're somehow benefiting by you not having an authentic voice, and they will be bothered by you changing. Know the red flags. Remember, this will show you exactly who needs to be removed from your life. Step number 4, practice regulated vulnerability. There's a huge misconception about authenticity. People think it means blurting out every single thought, using "I'm just being honest" as an excuse for being hurtful or unaware. That's not authenticity. That's just emotional dumping. True, sustainable authenticity is paired with self-regulation. It's about honoring your feelings without letting them drive the car. Before you share something vulnerable, check in with yourself. Ask, why am I sharing this? Is it to build a connection? Or is it to blame, shock, or get a reaction? Real vulnerability is about letting people in, not blasting them away with your raw emotions. It's the difference between saying, I felt hurt when that happened, which invites a conversation, and yelling, you're a terrible person for saying that, which just starts a fight. It's a gradual process of taking your armor off piece by piece, not throwing it all on the ground at once. Step number 5, redefine rejection. Finally, this is the most important mindset shift you will ever make. People are terrified of rejection because you see it as a final verdict on your worth. I don't know if it's because I've been bullied most of my life or from being a hairstylist for 22 years, but I learned that rejection is just a normal part of life. You're not going to be everyone's favorite flavor, and that's okay. Listen up, friends. Rejection is not a verdict. What it is some of the most important, useful data we as humans can acquire. Rejection is a direct sign of a mismatch. When you're your authentic self and someone doesn't like it, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the part of you that doesn't align with them. And that is a gift. Their rejection is a natural filter. It weeds out the people who aren't right for you, making space for the people who will love and celebrate you for exactly who you are. Get out of your feelings. When you're truly being yourself, you will naturally attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. When you look at rejection through this lens, it's no longer a crushing blow. Why the hell would you fight to keep someone in your life who doesn't like the real you? Rejection is a helpful redirection, pointing you closer to your true tribe, and that's something to be grateful for. The journey to being real isn't a one-time thing. It's a moment-by-moment practice. It's choosing courage over comfort and alignment over approval again and again. The fear of being seen is real. I know. Its roots can run deep. It's a survival tool that served you well for a very long time. But you're no longer that helpless kid who had to fit in to survive. You're an adult now, and you get to choose. You can choose the exhausting safety of the mask, or you can choose the messy, vulnerable, and freeing path of being real. Living authentically isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Because you know that real belonging can only happen when you show up as your true self. The world needs you, the real you. Thanks for watching. Please consider hitting like and subscribe. And until next time, friends, keep healing. See ya.